More late game drama for the Twins. They tied up late, but then they fall short in extras. 5-2, that's your final in game 2. We got the full deep dive, instant reaction. It's all coming up next. Minnesota Twins POSTCAST.
This is the Twins POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Minnesota Twins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on? Back in the lab, back at it. Another Twins POSTCAST right here, Locked On Sports, Minnesota Network. That's your team every day. Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. Got my main man, CJ Baumgartner. He's on X. Give him a follow at BaumCJ30. Twins expert over at Zone Coverage MN. By the way, make sure to go check out our guy, Brandon Warren, with all the daily Twins content you can handle over on Locked On Twins podcast. That's each and every day. All right, 5-2. That's your final in extras, 65 and 83 now on the year. Lots to get into. More late game drama for the Twins. The biggest turning point from today. Plus, what can we learn from Joe Ryan's start tonight? But first, CJ, let's just jump right into the meat and potatoes, right? Nuts and bolts. Biggest turning point from tonight.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Yeah, so it kind of felt like the Twins' offense were a little hungover, if you will, from that 9-run explosion last night, the dramatic come-from-behind walk-off winner. No runs in this one heading into the 8th. You're down 2 when who else? Cody Clemens delivers the game-time base hit. Build that dude a statue before it's too late. His last 24 hours have been unbelievable. Twins had their chances. We go to extras, though. D-backs rally off 3 runs and kind of run away with it. You tell us, though, CJ. Walk us through it. Lots to choose from, but biggest turning point from tonight, when was it and why?
Yeah, it probably was in that 8th inning when they weren't quite able to get across that go-ahead run. They had the opportunity. They had the rally. It felt like they had the momentum, and they just couldn't quite come through in that spot. I know the Twins, I think going into that inning, were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position or something like that. And I know Cody Clemens got the big hit to keep his hot stretch rolling, but nobody else could really kind of pick up the baton and carry it and get that extra run, which would have won them the game in regulation, if you will. So I'll have to say just not capitalizing and getting that extra run in the 8th really kind of was the turning point in the game. The Diamondbacks were still able to hang in there, get it to extras, and hang a crooked number themselves in the 10th and win it.
Oh, we got bigger stuff to talk about, but this is a small piece to the puzzle. I just want to make sure I touch on this. Austin Martin, I got to shout him out. His at-bat in the 6th inning, a 13-pitch at-bat that ends with him drawing a walk. It was absolutely a thing of beauty. Larnach walked as well right behind him. Looked like for a second they were going to do some damage. They didn't, but that shouldn't take away from Martin's discipline at the plate. He went 2 for 4 tonight with a walk. I don't want to put you on the spot. What's the longest Twins at bat this year? That's got to be number 1. If not, it's got to be right up there.
I mean, it's got to be right up there. I feel like somewhere along the way, Keyshaw probably had a really long at-bat. There's got to be, maybe one other player. But once you get into the double digits for an at-bat, it's just a great battle. And no matter what happens with a player, if they get out, if they get a hit, home run, strikeout, doesn't matter. They go back to the dugout and everybody's giving them high fives. And the manager is definitely looking at you like, hey, you made the pitcher work in that bat, nothing else. And that's always a great thing when you can take an at-bat into double digits.
This is what you'll be talking about.
So last night, what we were talking about, the late game drama, the late game heroics, plus, of course, Cody Clemens, not 1, not 2, but 3 home run game. We could touch on, and I'm sure we will, we could go the route of the bullpen, blowing this game late in extras. But tonight, I feel like you got to go back to Clemens again, who stays red hot, comes up clutch in the bottom of the 8th with that must-have do-or-die base hit. Scores the only 2 runs for the Twins. That ties it back up. 2 for 4, I want to say, on the night. That puts him at 6 for 8 with 7 ribbies the past 24 hours. Talk to me about his night and just kind of what kind of tear he's been on, I guess. And what else is your number 1 big takeaway, I guess, from tonight's ballgame?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest takeaway other than the bullpen just blowing it again, which has kind of just been the theme of the last, since the trade deadline. But in the positive direction, Cody Clemens really, like you said, the 3-homer night yesterday has a big clutch to a run single. And also, I think it's important just because of where Clemens was coming into this game. He'd had a couple weeks stretch where it had been pretty rough, and not that he'd played himself out of playing time this season, because let's be honest, they're kind of just limping to the finish line here, but it's battling for next season. Does Cody Clemens have a spot on this Twins team? And he was kind of fading for a little bit there, and now he stacked 2 good games on top of each other just to kind of get it back in. Remember, Cody Clemens is under team control until like 2030 or something like that. It's insane. So he shows any sign of promise, he's going to be a Twin next year. And it kind of feels like these last 2 games just kind of reassuring everybody that, yeah, he's still got a little bit of the stick in him, and he'll probably be around at Target Field next summer.
Yeah, Sweet Lou and I talked about him last night, obviously, after that 3-run home run game. Probably not the highest ceiling guy, not going to be an MLB superstar. Does feel like a glue guy, though. I mean, we've seen some glue guys come and go from the Twins here the last, 4, 5, 6 years under Rocco, and it just feels like he's going to be one of those guys from 2026 and maybe beyond. Joe Ryan's night, 93 pitches, only got him through 4 innings on 93 pitches, so it's kind of a grind for him tonight. Gave up the 1 mistake in the 4th, 2-run homer, and that was all the damage on the night. 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned, 4 Ks, 2 walks. Probably not like the A minus version of Joe we're used to, but even his floor is pretty damn good, like we saw tonight. What'd you like from him in this one? And I guess more importantly, what are we learning about Joe Ryan as the season kind of wears down?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Joe Ryan in any start is health, right? And it's why the Twins pulled him after 4 innings. He had 93 pitches. And at this point in the season, where the Twins are at, you just want to get Joe Ryan into the offseason healthy while giving him opportunities in the regular season. And what we're learning is that even though he's not 100% effective or 100% as he was at the first half of the year, he's putting together his first full healthy season, which he hasn't had ever in his career. He's had, in 2022, he had a nice season. In 2023 and 2024, you could have said the first half of his seasons could get him all-star recognition, but then injuries kind of in the middle part of 23 and the later part of 24 kind of took away what were nice seasons. And for him, even though it's not as stellar as it was back in May, June, July, it still is, again, 4 innings, 2 runs. He still is putting up decent stats, and he's still showing that he can get through a season healthy, which is big, whether it's for the Twins or somebody on the trade market. But it's just that we're learning that, hey, this guy is capable of putting together a full healthy season.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I'm doing it. I'm going there. Favorite part of the show. Even in a loss, I can't help myself here. CJ, give me one. Your official game MVP for the Twins tonight. Who was it and why?
Yeah, I mean, let's just stay on the Cody Clemens train. It's got to be Cody Clemens kind of picking up that mantle again from the night before, gets a base hit, gets the 2 runs, gets the team tied, just, again, knocks in another hit along the way. And overall, it just felt like, he's kind of back in that groove, and it's just really fun to see. So why not? Let's roll with Cody.
Nerdy stat of the day. You got any, crazy stat, fun analytic, Twins related tonight? Give it to me.
Well, this is kind of an aside, but I found out that Cody Clemens and Cody Funderburk in my search on Fangraphs are the only 2 players in Major League Baseball named Cody with K's in their first name. So that's the first one. The second one is that Austin Martin, we talked about him a little bit earlier and just how important of a stretch this has been for him. This is a time for him to get at bats, prove his worth to the team. Last year, he had a weighted runs created score of 93. So 100 is average. He was a below average player in 2024. Now, including today's game, he's at a 129 weighted runs created plus. Not putting together just the most stellar of campaigns, but he's at least given you enough and been productive enough to say, you know what, like he's earned some opportunities going into 2026.
It's hard to argue. I mean, again, maybe not the highest floor, maybe one of these glue guys for next year, but it's hard to argue. 2 for 4 tonight, 1 run scored. When you just look at the team average, which I know team average, take it maybe with a grain of salt, but when you look at everybody top to bottom, Luke Keyshaw, number 1 with a bullet at 314. Who's number 2? Austin Martin, not Byron Buxton, not Royce Lewis, not Cody Clemens, Brooks Lee. It's Austin Martin. I get it. Smaller sample size, so take it with a little grain of salt. But nonetheless, to your point, I feel like he's got to be mentioned when we think about 2026 and beyond. Don't go anywhere. What we loved tonight, what we hated from tonight, that's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to us by Nutrafol. I'm sure, like me, you've seen millions of ads for hair growth products and thought, sure, yeah, right, that actually works. There's so many products out there. Hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. And it's not just hype. This supplement is clinically tested and targets the root causes of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. Whether you're at work or just out with friends, maybe just getting ready in the morning, Nutrafol gives you the confidence in your daily routine. And I love Nutrafol. It's so simple to add to your daily routine. 4 pills with a meal, no prescription. That's it. Easy peasy on with your day. Thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month. That's free shipping plus $10 off. Go to Nutrafol.com. Enter the promo code Locked On MLB. That's Nutrafol.com. Promo code Locked On MLB. This episode also brought to us by FanDuel. Make sure you are grabbing their must-grab, can't-miss offer for the NFL season. Right now, new customers, you bet $5, you win $5, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And why I love FanDuel, when you get the hunch in the middle of the game, they got everything. Player props, same game parlay, even jumping in live as the action unfolds. You name it, they got it. It's so quick, it's so easy, and it's the best way to add a little bit more enthusiasm to your Sundays. Are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app and visit FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. Get $300 in bonus bets guaranteed when you win your first $5 wager. All right, little glass half full, glass half empty. Just give me one thing you really like from tonight. Let's just start there. One positive that's kind of noteworthy, I guess, and just an encouraging sign in your eyes, and why.
Yeah, one of the most encouraging signs has to be, again, the young kids in a way. When you see Luke Keeschall get a couple hits today, reach base a couple times. I know he had a walk to go with his hit. And then you also have Austin Martin having the game he had. Not every game they're going to light it up, but can you just see something in these final couple weeks that can get you just a little bit excited for 2026 because it's looking kind of bleak out there. So to see Keeschall and Martin have good games at the plate is an encouraging sign.
One negative, I guess, glass half empty, one negative that you think is also noteworthy in your eyes, and why?
Runners in scoring position. The Twins went like 3 for 16 or something like that with runners in scoring position today. Was not good, and they've been one of the worst teams with runners in scoring position since the All-Star break. So just kind of more of the same tonight, and that's just been frustrating.
I don't want to be redundant. We did talk about this last night. I'm just very curious. I'm very intrigued about this situation. Talk to me about Johnny Pereda back there at catcher. Obviously, all year it's Christian Vasquez, Ryan Jeffers, not just all year, but going back multiple years. Johnny Pereda, though, in his last, I want to say 12 at-bats at 6 hits, so batting 500 the last 2-3 games. Where's just he kind of fit into the equation of things? Obviously, we're getting late in the season, out of playoff contention. You get some of these kind of filling guys, but what'd you like from his game tonight, kind of on the micro and macro level?
Yeah, again, with some of these catchers, the biggest opportunity that they're going to get is that the Twins don't have a lot of catching depth in the organization. I know they have a couple catchers they picked up at the trade deadline, but those guys are still in the kind of low minors. They're still probably not going to play in 2026 at all. And Christian Vasquez is going to be an impending free agent. So there is room for some of those guys to kind of get an opportunity to play and get an opportunity to do some stuff. If they can just show a little bit with the bat at all. And again, not a ton of power. We've seen, I think, 4 RBIs from him so far. So a little bit here and there, been a little encouraging. There's kind of a little campaign here to be Ryan Jeffers' understudy going into 2026. And, do they stay with somebody in organization? Do they go out of organization? And he has an opportunity in these final couple weeks to get himself in that contention for 2026 if he can play well. He's had a little couple spurts here, still probably has a long way to go, but the opportunity is there.
After what we saw tonight, quick snapshot at Sunday's matchup. It's game 3. It's the rubber match. 8 more home games, by the way, at Target Field in a row. You got 14 games left on the docket for 2025. And another look at Bailey Ober back on the mound as well. After watching tonight's game just unfold the way it did, what are you taking away from this game and I guess bringing into tomorrow as your number one storyline?
Yeah, I think it's just basically Bailey Ober, and a lot of the same reason as Joe Ryan. Had trouble staying healthy, and a little bit for Ober this season as well. But, can he finish the year strong? Can he at least have a little bit of positive momentum going into 2026? And it'll basically just be watching, can Ober, can he get through the lineup a few times? Can he look good? If he can go 5 innings with a run, 1 to 3 runs allowed, you'll take it, even if he can't get to the 6th or 7th. But basically, my biggest storyline for tomorrow is, how does Bailey Ober look? If it's another short start from him like it was Ryan, they're going to rely a lot on this Twins bullpen, and as we've learned, that's a recipe for disaster.
Twins give us some more late game drama. They tie things up in the 8th, but then they fall short in extras. 5-2, that's your final. 65-83 now on the year. Go check out all CJ's work on X at BombCJ30, plus all the work he's always ripping up over at zonecoveragemn.com. Luke Inman on X at Luke_spin. We got game 3 tomorrow. 1:10 first pitch. Got Bailey Ober on the mound. Catch you right here. Same time, same place. Until then, signing out.